Final. Getting ready for the...
Pretty sure that's a composite, but it's all right.
That is all right. That's all right with me.
There's a lot of interesting things with this bottle I'm looking forward to getting into.
Definitely.
I've got some answers, but...
I'm looking forward to getting some of that bottle in me.
Well...
Yeah, let's do it. Ready?
Let's do it.
Welcome, everybody, to the Savor the Burn podcast. My name is Jonathan. This is Mr. W2. How do you do?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. I'm pretty excited about this one. Like I said before, I'm always excited about everything that we try. This one here is...
Yeah, this is going to be a great bottle. High and Wicked has been a brand that's been on my radar for a while. Mm-hmm. This was my first adventure into High and Wicked, so I'm excited about that.
Do you have any others?
No, okay. I have not had a chance to purchase any of them. So I use this as an opportunity to learn a little bit about High and Wicked. But the thing that's cool about this bottle is, we follow everything from, bartenders and,
High Proof Preacher, Thirsty Whale.
Yeah. And then
Frizzle,
we follow the distilleries, and then we follow places like up in Weston. There's a amazing whiskey bar called the Whiskey Snug.
Yeah. Go up there, talk to Mike, tell us Savor the Burn sent you. And
they're constantly doing store picks.
Oh, okay.
And so they had posted that they had just done one of these. And I'll get into what kind of makes this a little bit special here in a little bit.
Okay.
But this was one of their store picks. And so I was like, I got to get up there and get a bottle.
Yeah.
Hey, we should do an hunt day.
Yeah.
And so we mapped out and planned out. Day. We planned out an entire day of just going around town and hunting.
Yep.
And we stopped in here and
meeting the people in the liquor stores. You introduced me to a few people.
And so we picked up this bottle, and so
I guess I didn't realize it was a store pick. Somebody in one of the whiskey groups. So I posted a picture of this in all three of the whiskey groups that I'm part of through the podcast, trying to get people's ideas and feedback, use it as content for the show. One of the comments said, I've had High and Wicked, but I haven't had the store pick before. I was like, okay, I didn't know we were doing a store pick. But obviously they zoomed in on one of the pictures that I posted that I didn't even really look at much myself, because I was looking at other things. In fact, right before we started recording, I looked all over this label. I saw Kentucky Straight Rye. I saw Single Barrel, aged for 5 years. It's right down here, the gold label at the very bottom. Yeah.
Store pick for Whiskey Snug.
Yeah. So I'm blind in one eye and can't see out the other.
So this Kentucky Straight Rye whiskey is one of their year-round offerings. They have a Kentucky Straight Bourbon and they have a Kentucky Straight Rye, that both of those are their year-round offerings. This, however, and I'll get into this here in a little bit, but apparently their normal offering, Straight Rye, was a 90 proof up until just recently. They reconfigured the mash bill a little bit and they tweaked some things and they bumped that up to 98.2.
I'll take it.
Well, this is single barrel. This is also store pick. So this is uncut, unfiltered. This is straight from the barrel. And that is why this comes in at 115 proof.
I like it. What else can you tell us about it? Give us a little bit of history and talk to us about the distillery and the bottle.
So this bottle itself is a rye. It comes out of Kentucky's. That's why it's a Kentucky Straight Rye whiskey. It is distilled by New Riff Distilling. This is part of what I did not know until I did a little bit of research. I had seen the High and Wicked brand all over the place. I knew I wanted to get into some of the High and Wicked, but I didn't know a whole lot about the brand High and Wicked. This is aged 5 years. Like I said, it is a straight rye whiskey, and it comes in at 115 proof. And I'm going to skip around a little bit on this. I'm going to start us off with a write-up I found on the Whiskey Snug's site on this. Out of just 8 select barrels of rye in the entire world, we, being the Whiskey Snug, are proud to have been the first to receive this very limited single barrel selection back in December. Crafted with 91% rye and 9% malted barley, this rye exudes notes of bright fruit and high spice while emphasizing a rich malty cereal grain for the base. Aged for 5 years in a medium number 4 charred new toasted white oak barrel, you will enjoy its cask strength with maximum flavor, aroma, color, and texture.
Way to sell it.
Yeah, so about High and Wicked, and this is where I think it's kind of interesting. High and Wicked is an importer and specialty bottler of exceptional whiskeys. High and Wicked was founded in 2019. It's not very long ago.
No, not at all.
The company features 5-year-old Kentucky Straight Bourbon and Kentucky Straight Rye available year-round, like I said. It will also offer unique, small production expressions of each annually, meaning including cask strength, single barrel, and double wood finishes. Some will carry greater age as the brands evolve. So the more they get into it, the greater the age. High and Wicked also offers limited releases of American bourbon, single malt Irish whiskey, and single grain Irish whiskey. This is one of the things that I was a little confused and I didn't understand about those because I knew the brand High and Wicked. I also knew that going to Total Wine, for instance, I've seen an Irish whiskey from them. I've seen a straight Kentucky bourbon from them. I've seen the straight Kentucky rye from them. And I'm like, how are they doing Irish whiskey and Kentucky bourbon? They are a brand. They are an importer of things. Such as this offering, it is distilled by New Riff. So they partner with distilleries. I think they also are starting to distill their own stuff, but they partner with other established distilleries like New Riff for a lot of their juice. I thought it was cool as hell that the Whiskey Snug was able to be the first to grab a barrel of this offering.
You know, they say Kansas City grows, every year it gets bigger. I think that's just because more and more people discover Kansas City and how welcoming we can be. Never mind the crime rate and the murder rate that's going, through the fucking roof right now. But generally, the people are cool. And
look at that color.
That's great color. And it's a great little town to be in. Kansas City's a wonderful place. But it seems like everybody just kind of wants to be a part of it. So every year, it just kind of expands. Like, Blue Springs is now Kansas City, pretty much, to anybody that's either from here. It's the Kansas City metro area, which is just because we just adopt all of everything. Raytown's been Kansas City for years. Lee Summit, Blue Springs, like I said, Weston, way up north. It's all part of the big happy family.
Yep. It says a new mash bill and higher proof. In our relentless pursuit to give you the best expression of rye flavor, we have made adjustments to our proof up from 90 to 98.2, and our mash bill from 95 rye, 5% malted barley to 91 rye and 9% malted barley. So they dropped the rye a little bit in that. The results are superb and will be complemented by the release of a cask strength and single barrel expression shortly. Well, this is a single barrel expression that happens to be a store pick single barrel. There's a lot going on that nose.
Yeah. It's so far on the nose, what I picked up is that special something that can only be found on uncut, unfiltered bottles.
100%.
And uncut, unfiltered, I think the last one we had was the Casket Strength by Iron Smoke. And I think that was like right around 115
I think it was 115.
So this...
for 115 proof, you don't get that ethanol on the nose.
It still stings you a little bit because it's 115 proof.
But I'm getting all kinds of fruit notes.
Yep. Deep dark
fruit. Yep.
And
like a plum.
Yeah.
Maybe even
and like toasted walnut, maybe, or not walnut, but almond. And there's maybe cherry. I mean, it's hard for me to.
I would say cherry, dark cherry, some honey.
Yeah, it's hard for me to pick up cherry really on anything, even though I love it so much.
I was getting ready to
say. I have a hard time picking cherry.
I was getting ready to say apple.
You think?
I was getting ready to.
I mean, speaking of Iron Smoke, you picked up apple on Iron Smoke.
Yeah, but I just glanced down here. The very first thing in the nose is Dutch apple pie.
Well, that's weird. We just had apple pie.
And we just had apple pie.
It's coinky dink. Or was it? You're trying to set me up.
Pure coincidence. Bright baking spices, biscuit notes, and ripe tree fruit.
Now, when they say biscuit, do they mean it like a European means biscuit or an American means biscuit? It's totally different things.
That's a good question. That's very.
For them, a biscuit is our cookies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Apples and pears evolves to candied pecans, hence a brown butter and caramelized orange peel. Bright and complex with gorgeous candied fruit and spice notes.
It's funny you said caramelized orange peel because I can totally
there is a little bit of orange.
Up.
There is orange
like
peel in that.
Take,
yep.
Yeah, you take like a brown sugar or whatever. You put your orange peel in it. Mm-hmm. You hit it with the torch. You drop that in your fucking drink, and this kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, and with that, there's like a little bit of a creme brulee kind of a caramelization.
Yeah.
Going on.
Yeah, I'm ready for the palate.
Let's do it. Wow.
There's that proof.
The proof is there.
And the rye.
It presents. Yep.
I don't know if it's. Oh wow, that finish.
I mean, to be a rye, it has to have 51%, and this has 91%.
That explains it. Okay.
So, and take that for what it's worth.
You said these guys are fans of single grain. Mm-hmm. 91 is damn close to a single grain, but you can still kind of taste some corn in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's probably like 91.
According to this, there is no corn.
No corn?
No, it's 91% rye and 9% malted barley. That's it.
No shit.
Yep.
Huh. Well, the barley you can kind of pick up on the late end of the finish. So, palate gave us all kinds of stuff. The nose gave us all kinds of stuff. The palate was just as wide as far as flavors go. I mean, I was tasting the oak. There was the dark fruit. Maybe a bit of that nuttiness that we were talking about. What was it? Candied pecans?
Was it pecans or? Yep, candied pecans.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what it's not saying is like a licorice kind of spice.
Maybe
it's either that or the fennel, star anise baking spice kind of thing. Fennel.
There's a lot of cool stuff on this label. Mm-hmm. So it says on the outside of the ring, non-chill filtered. Some cloudiness may occur.
I would hope it does.
I ain't scared. Stills all copper, column and doubler. Aged in new toasted white oak and char for 5 years. Single barrel. There's the mash bill information. I completely understand and get when a distillery does not publish and let their secret sauce out of the bag. Mm-hmm. But I so appreciate and love to see specifically what the mash bill is so that we can kind of compare to what we're getting on the palate to what those percentages are. It's like, oh, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's 91% rye. I better taste some fucking rye.
Damn right.
I love their H&W monogram on there, which is also on the top. The tape says single barrel. Mm-hmm. It is composite, but it's hardwood top
like
on
really
there.
Dark, mahogany? Mm-hmm. I'm guessing.
Yep, with like a black stain on it.
Yeah, either that or it's oak with a terrible char.
Mm-hmm. And then we've got, there's the barrel number, the Whiskey Snug proof, and then on the backside, proprietary Kentucky limestone water, distilled by New Riff Distilling, Newport, Kentucky, and bottled by High and Wicked, also in Kentucky, because it's got to be distilled, aged, and bottled.
For it to be a Kentucky whiskey.
There's really no punt, more of just that ashtray kind of a dimple.
Like the old Taco Bell ashtray.
I mean, I just can't get over the
So dark.
the color.
For a 5-year? Come on.
5-year.
How is that so dark at a 5-year? Oh, because it's single barrel. And it's uncut. It's unfiltered. That's why it's so damn dark.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's pretty damn incredible.
The palate on the notes I've got here say full and complex. And disclaimer, the notes that I pulled are from their annual offering, which is 98 point something proof. 98.2 proof. So with this being a single barrel, it's going to vary a little bit, but I thought still this was a good starting point for discussion. So the palate notes say full and complex with layers of rich tree fruit notes throughout, significant apple and pear character that are balanced with a shortbread cookie and cinnamon spice note. The mouthfeel is a big and layered, but finishes very clean and dry with a slight pipe tobacco note.
Pipe tobacco. Yeah.
I'm definitely getting a dark cherry, like a black cherry kind of a note on the palate. That is so delicious.
On the Kansas City Whiskey Guild, Holly says, High and Wicked is a great one. Let's see. Nancy says, the High and Wicked is fantastic. Bought a bottle last night, not the Snug Pick. Snug Pit. Welcome to the Snug Pit, motherfucker. So that's what's going on with the Whiskey Guild. Not sure if anybody has to say anything about. Brian says can't speak for it as far as the High and Wicked goes.
Okay.
He had something to say about the other ones. So it wasn't just, that was his comment. Can't speak for that one. I mean, Nose to Toes, it's got a lot to offer on all points.
Yeah, I think this is remarkable.
Yeah, it's no Navigator.
It's no Navigator.
That's fucking clear. It's night and day difference.
Got so many fingerprints at this point in there. What's I'm looking for a cloudiness.
Yeah, I didn't see any.
It looks pretty clear.
Yeah.
No floaties, but it's been kept at a pretty consistent temperature. So typically those floaties
they'll show up when it cools
they show
off.
up when you if you take it out in the cold and then warm it back up.
Or if you put it in a glass and throw ice at it, it'll get little floaties in there.
Yep.
I learned that. I used to think that I had some kind of contaminant in my ice cubes because I'd pour it in the glass, whatever it would be. I'd pour it in the glass and it'd be clear. I'm like, okay, so it's this is fine. Throw an ice cube in there, swirl it around because I would only do about half an ice cube, whatever size it was. Just depending on how much I would let it melt. But I'd take it out of there after a bit, throw it away, just so it was a little bit less than what it was. It just, I don't know. It used to be just how I regularly would drink my whiskey, and so sometimes with some of them I would see little bits of shit floating around in there, like mosquito larvae. If you've ever seen mosquito larvae in a puddle or in a pond, it's usually dancing around. Yeah. But it wasn't in my whiskey. But I was just like, what the fuck is that? But that's what it was. It was the stuff, the good stuff, in the bourbons I was drinking.
This is a good rye.
And in the scotches, it would show up a lot in my scotch.
Yep. I've got a bourbon that Mitch gave me for my birthday called the Dancing Goat.
Dancing Goat. Okay.
We have not done that on the podcast. I've kind of been backburnering it because I want to try to get him involved with
good.
an episode, and we'll try that out. Because he's had a handful of bottles of it, so he has visited and revisited it and gotten to know it.
All right. Yeah, he did that with the Irish whiskeys that we left him with, or that he was left with. A year or so ago, year and a half ago now. First Irish whiskey trek.
Yeah, but that bottle he gave to me for my birthday, and then he kind of pulled me aside and he goes, because he was worried. He's like, I just want to let you know, you may see some things floating in there.
Okay,
it's okay. I've had multiple bottles of this, and it's fine.
Okay.
And I'm looking at the bottle. I'm like, Mitch, it's a non-chilled whiskey. You're gonna get those floaties because those fatty contents are still in the distillate.
That's what it is. Yeah, the fat content.
Mm-hmm.
And from what? What's the fats in whiskey? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Research for another time.
High and Wicked, especially, like I said, when I first started noticing them on the shelves, I also noticed that, wait a minute, they have an Irish whiskey, they have an Irish malt whiskey, or a single malt whiskey, and then Kentucky bourbon, Kentucky straight rye. How is this all possible?
Yeah.
And now, getting into it, I think that's really fascinating that they are a company that really looks for quality and finding the right products and right fit. For them to have a Kentucky straight rye or bourbon means that distillation, aging, and bottling all have to take place in the state of Kentucky. So they have to have those relationships in place in order to make that work. To have an Irish whiskey, that means that that has to be distilled, bottled, aged, all the things in Ireland. So they have to have that relationship in order to make that work.
It's like Bruzel said, the whiskey business is a relationship business.
And I mean, like we've talked about on a couple of these, some of the whiskeys we've tried, some of them that we've really thoroughly enjoyed have been MGP.
They have.
The source from that. It's not a bad thing.
All of those Junction 35s are MGP.
It just means that the distillery that's producing them, one, is new enough that they're using an MGP to help them get a good start while they're working on aging their own stuff.
And MGP is a outsourced, government sourced, I think.
I think it used to be. I don't know if it is anymore.
So they send it's like a manufacturer.
But it's in Indiana.
They make it for you. They make the whiskey for you. They put it in a tote. The big plastic big bastards, the IBC totes, and then they ship that to you. And then what you do with it from that point is up to you. You can just bottle it straight, or you can put it in barrels and age it. You can put it in multiple barrels. But that's all up to you. It's everything that they would distill themselves if they had the means to do it. So not everybody has the means to distill.
I think that's what Smoke Wagon
hundreds
does.
of gallons.
Yeah.
You think so?
Smoke Wagon, they get their distillate from MGP, but I think they barrel and age it themselves. I think.
Yeah. So I really don't see anything wrong with it.
Haven't done a deep dive into that yet, but I will by the time we get to that, because we're going to have a Smoke Wagon episode.
I'm looking forward to that one too.
Yeah, that's going to be a great one. We've got a store pick for that one too from Bubbles.
Yep. I'm really enjoying the store picks that we've tried. We've done the Buffalo Trace store pick. Okay, that your sister got. We've done a was it Bubbles store pick of the Angel's Envy? I kind of want to get the store pick from Red X and Hy-Vee
side by side.
Yeah, just do a flight of nothing but store picks. Of that one, because it seems like everybody's doing store picks of Angel's Envy. Why aren't we? Oh, you know what? We probably
let me write that down.
Yeah. We probably need some Patreon subscribers to help us be able to
one or two would help.
Pay for that kind of thing. That would be great. So yeah, if you like what we're doing and you want to support us, I mean, you could always go into the shop, savortheburn.com/shop, or just click that drop down menu, go into the shop. Buying anything from any of those affiliate links through Amazon will give us a kickback, give us a little bit of a percentage, and that all goes into the Savor the Burn bank account. But if you want to support us more directly, more so than just buying a T-shirt, which supports us, you're a walking billboard if you put on our T-shirts and go into public and talk to people about what we do. We've got Patreon, so it's tiered out. You got different levels of support that you can do. I think it starts at what, $3?
Yep.
I mean, what are you doing with that $3 a month? Like, just give it to us. And we can use that for equipment upgrades, new bottles,
new barrels,
gasoline in the gas tank when we go to do our hunt days, and help pay for the distillery tours. Like, cause we got to go back to Ben Holiday.
We do.
We got to go to West Bottoms Whiskey Company, back to Rieger's.
We've got to land on one of those cave aged.
Oh yeah,
expressions.
Yeah, I heard. It was Maker's Mark has a cave aged, don't they?
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think they do. It's like gone now. I think Bruzel was on the hunt for it and found it. His wife wanted it. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to support us directly, hop on over, check out the Patreon, pick a tier, start with the lowest level if you want. We are nothing but grateful. So that said, I think it's time we get into our ratings.
We should.
What'd you give it on the nose?
4.5.
4.5. You copies me? That's what I gave it. I gave it a 4.5. It had so much to offer. It had, like I said, the uncut, unfiltered.
It just kept giving.
115 proof nose. I mean,
and for 115 proof, it didn't burn your nostril hairs.
No, it didn't. And you'd think it would, because one, it's 115 proof. Two, it's a rye. Ryes are notorious for giving you the whoo goddams.
It's a high rise at that.
Yeah, and it's not a mellow rye.
No,
it's a. I'm gonna
not by a long shot.
You sit me, I'm gonna bite you. Nope. Rye, whatever strain of rye that is. How about the palate?
You ready for this?
No.
4 3/4.
4 3/4. Holy smokes! It wowed you more than it wowed me.
It was so good.
I gave it a 4.5, which that was my wow.
I mean,
that's my wow mark.
There's just so much it offers.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Yeah, every wild note that the nose had, the palate took it and expanded even further. Yep. And I was very happy with it. Plus, it's a rye, and I'm a fan of ryes. How about the finish?
Not that I'm discounting the finish at all, but I gave it a 4 1/4.
4 1/4? That's not bad. I gave it. I thought the finish was better than the palate to me. Okay. So I gave it a 4 3/4.
Oh, very nice. We flip flopped a little bit.
We did. We totally flip flopped on that one, which is to be expected. Yeah. I don't like it when I agree with everybody on every single point. I like there to be a little bit of something. That way I know you're not a robot. Bottle presentation.
I gave it, what did I give it? 4.5.
4.5. I gave it a 4 1/4.
There's no bag, there's no box, but I mean there's a lot of great information on there.
And it's designed well.
And knowing
markings.
Knowing now that High and Wicked partners with other distilleries to make this happen, I kind of appreciate them being straightforward and transparent and let me know, hey, this is New Riff juice. New Riff is one of those that is also on my list that I have not gotten into. Faith and Tim love New Riff.
They do.
Looking at you, and specifically, their single barrel offerings are they rave about them all the time.
For sure.
So if this is just a inkling insight as to what New Riff has to offer, I'm already a fan.
Yeah, I'm on board. I'm ready for the tattoo.
Let's do it.
So you gave it a 4.5 on bottle presentation. So what was your final?
Well, like we've talked about before, we've got 0 to 5, nose, palate, finish, bottle presentation. You add those together for a total of 20. We divide those by 2 to get our 1 to 10, 0 to 10 rating. Whew. if after all that you end up with a 0,
Yeah.
there's something wrong with that bottle.
Yeah.
Anyway, all that to say, mine came out to 9.
9? You know what?
9 even.
Somehow, both of our math added up to 9 even. This turned out to be a really good bourbon.
This is amazing.
One, it's a testament to New Riff. It's a testament to High and Wicked. It's also a testament to the Snug. They seem to know what the fuck they're doing. So they picked the right barrel. And
kudos to them to get the accolades of being the first one to be offered the first barrel out of this. What did they say? Out of all of there were only 8 barrels selected for this offering.
And they got the first.
And out of the entire country, they got the very first pick of the 8 barrels that were available.
They got their name on the list.
That's incredible.
A really good list.
That is incredible.
Yeah, so we're going to have to hang out with them more often. We need to put our names on their list of people that they know. And then
to get our name on a barrel?
Dude, that would be awesome. Can you imagine a Savor the Burn barrel pick, and we bottle it up, and to our Patreon members, like, they get first crack at it. Well, they would probably get only crack at it. Why would they get first only? Yeah, they would get only.
Go back to your empty glass.
Yeah, I was waiting for it to kind of dry out a little bit. We kind of missed out on doing some of that. Again,
I'm amazed at
empty glass nose.
How often cereal grains show up on the empty glass.
Is that maple, brown sugar, molasses kind of stuff?
Yep. Some vanilla.
Yep. Yeah, that pretty much rounds it out. It's got
a little bit of charred oak.
Yeah, charred oak and a touch of that rye is all that's left. So yeah, if you have these and you do what we do, we go back after it's empty, it's aired out for a little bit, and you come back in for a nose, then you know. If you don't know, get yourself some.
If they still have this up when we go back to the Whiskey Snug next, probably gonna
get another bottle of it.
Pick another bottle
just to have it.
Just to put it on the shelf. And
did we talk about MSRP? What a regular bottle would cost?
We did not, and I don't know what the MSRP is on their regular offering for this. This was a $90, I think, right at $90.
$90 store pick.
Single barrel.
Single barrel. Uncut, unfiltered.
I'm a fan of store pick. Store pick will always. I hesitate to say always.
Yeah.
But
in our experience and the experience of others who have done more store picks.
Yeah. But being a store pick, typically 99.9% of the time means this is a single barrel offering. Because the store has purchased a barrel, they've bottled it up and sent them the contents of that entire barrel.
And it will 100% of the time be that barrel distillate, but it will taste different.
Yep.
And then like we talked about Buffalo Trace before.
Buffalo Trace store pick.
The regular Buffalo Trace.
The mint that showed up.
The mint showed up. Yeah, for when we first did the tasting of Buffalo Trace, just the OG, just the original, the normal Buffalo Trace. It said in the tasting notes that there was mint somewhere in the finish. And I don't think either one of us picked up on that.
No.
But for me, the mint didn't show up on the original until I tried the barrel pick.
Yep.
Or the store pick, which was barrel proof, wasn't it? It was
no, it was still 90 proof, which is the same as the other one.
Okay.
But it was a store pick.
Store pick
single barrel, but it was still proof down to 90 proof, which is what the typical one. So the proof was equal.
My memory is pretty jacked on a lot of things, but I do remember that once we tried the store
whiskey.
So I do remember the mint kicked up on the original after I tried that store pick, and I was like, this is the weirdest fucking sensation ever. And I immediately recalled that there was supposed to be mint on it that we had never tasted before, and I was like, holy shit. If you've seen it, if you've watched that episode, then you know exactly the point in time I'm talking about. And he was like, yep. I get it too. Mm-hmm. Not in that tone, but whatever. So yeah, if you have a chance, if you're a whiskey enthusiast like us, and you enjoy a specific whiskey, we probably ruined ourselves on High and Wicked rye. So like if we go out and we get the regular, it's going to be a lower proof. It's going to be filtered. It's going to be cut.
I'm curious, but I'm skeptical that it's not.
How are they going to top it?
It's not going to be this.
How are they going to top it?
Not at all.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's still amazing because they're.
I'm sure
they're world renowned for what they produce. So I forgot where I was going with this, but yet that's what it was. If you have the opportunity to grab a store pick, and especially if something that you're already familiar with,
if it's a brand that is your favorite,
you can't go wrong.
or you're really interested in, you absolutely cannot go wrong.
Yeah. So if anybody knows where I can find a store pick of a Jim Beam extra aged, I had to do it. You get it. But please hit me up, Jonathan at savortheburn.com. Email. So I'm kind of struggling with coming up words for a little bit of a synopsis on this. This is not, I don't think this is for beginners. I think it's for more, I don't know, seasoned is the wrong kind of word, but people that have interacted with whiskeys and higher proof whiskeys for that matter.
There's a lot to unpack.
Like an intermediate enthusiast.
Yeah. Yep.
If you're an intermediate enthusiast or expert enthusiast, whatever you want to call yourself, this bottle would be for you. Same with the Iron Smoke uncut, unfiltered casket strength. Anything cask strength, uncut, unfiltered, it's going to be your next go-to. Mm-hmm. Probably right before you say, fuck it, I'm going Scotch. Because apparently that's where everybody goes. They start with whiskey, they go to bourbons and ryes, and then it goes barrel proofs, and then the next step is Scotch.
Scotch.
Which we have Scotches. We both love Scotch. We've got so many on the shelf here that we're going to try. So if you stick around, we're going to get to those. How would you describe it?
Words.
Right. So on top of everything that I said, is there anything you would add, or is there anything in your own words that you would say about it?
This is a full offering. I mean, it's start to finish. It is, it has everything to offer. Mm-hmm. I think if we spent time with this and got into multiple pours of this, I think we would have different assessments at each point.
Right.
Not because we're having them consecutively and we're all of a sudden going...
Right. Yeah. If we had a pour a day for a week, it would be empty. But each pour would be unique. We have like one a week. Yeah. That way it has time to interact with the air in there.
We haven't talked about it for a while, but when I'm Friday, Saturday night, when I'm sitting around the house and we're watching a movie or whatever, I've gotten into the habit of, especially stuff like this, it's the higher proof, the older aged whiskeys. I've gotten in the habit of pouring my glass and then letting it sit and walking away. And it may be 5-15 minutes before I'm back to it. But eventually I come and sit back down, and it's been airing that whole time.
Which they do with wine.
It really mellows it out, and it not mellows it out as in it softens it or anything like that, but it helps round out those sharp corners.
That's exactly how I would put it.
So all the sting and the burn that you get immediately off of that freshly popped top on there, all that kind of goes away, and it all just kind of you still get all of those flavors. They're just not as sharp. They're just a little bit more rounded.
You take like the hardened shoulders of like a shop teacher or a gym teacher, and then you have the softer shoulders.
They just have
of a home ec teacher.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do.
Just a light sanding.
It doesn't mean they're both teachers. They're both teachers.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn something from all of them. Especially if your home ec teacher has. I'm not going into this. I'm not going to do it.
Dear listener,
family show. Not get. And again, the empty Empty glass notes are right there. So,
cherry, plum.
So for this episode, specific feedback I'm going to ask for, send it to our email, info@savortheburn.com, or leave it here in the comments. We want to know from only the enthusiasts that have reached kind of the stage in their life where they're enjoying single barrel, uncut, unfiltered, those kinds of spirits. Let us know how it is that you like to enjoy them. Is it in a Glencairn? Does it have half an ice cube melted in it? Does it? Do you let it breathe? Like we saw early on, one of us shared a short or whatever it was with the other, and this guy said that anytime he pours, for every year of age, he lets it breathe for 1 minute, a minute per year of age. So if you do that, let us know, because I'm honestly interested in how it is that you guys, what your habits are, and also why.
Yeah.
Like, where did you come up with it? Why do you keep doing it? Et cetera, et cetera. So, do you have anything to add?
I love it.
He loves it. He doesn't just like it. So, I would agree. I definitely love it too. So, thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Savor the Burn podcast. One last time, my name is Jonathan. This is W2. And no matter who you are, where you are, what you're drinking, who you're drinking it with, never forget,
Keep on burning.